So, welcome everyone. I'm just going to leave it a few seconds for a few people to join our call. So, if I give it just a few seconds, um, that'd be great. Okay. All right. So, welcome everybody to the Megaport Tech Live drop-in. Hi, my name's Dave Sloan, and I've been with Megaport for some 3 years now. And today I would like to talk to you about our about cross-cloud and our Megaport Cloud Router and how this gives our customers a lot of scope and advantages in operating in multi-cloud environments. So just a little bit, just a level setter really for those that don't know too much about Megaport. Megaport's network proposition. Megaport's proposition is based on the concept of network as a service, or NAS. So what is NAS? Well, NAS provides a network in a way that's much more aligned with cloud subscription models, with services being available on demand in near real time. NAS provides the underlay building blocks for organizations like yourselves to deploy a whole host of technical solutions to match your operational business requirements. So what makes the NAS platform different? Well, first off, it's the reach. Megaport NAS is part of a virtualized global ecosystem built on pre-existing hardware. This gives the ability to deploy capacity to all the well-known cloud service providers, giving access to thousands of IT-based services, as well as having connectivity to our own footprint, which is 850 data centers across the globe. And all this can be done in near real time in a software-defined manner. Also with NAS, it has very predictable performance. It's like having your own private fiber network. Your data travels over our NAS, private global network, with no internet component in the core. So all of these components then can be linked together with virtualized network cross connects, which we call VXCs. And these are typically layer 2 MPLS pseudo wires. And with this partition, this all adds the benefit of making it low latency and very highly secure. Also, you pay for only the capacity you wish to deploy, as it is pre-built and virtualized. You can scale that capacity up and down on demand, so you no longer need to worry about traffic spikes or wasted capacity, and this ensures good end-user application performance. The Megaport network on demand components are very versatile, allowing you to launch things such as physical ports within data centers, virtual cross connects across our network. You can build environments to house virtual routers, virtual firewalls, and virtualized SD-WAN elements within our network. And we can also provide further connections to the Megaport internet to allow you to reach those remote branch networking locations. And this is all automated. And this makes NAS services very cost effective. This can all be designed, deployed, and fully operational in minutes, and be available only for the term that you need it. This reduces your upfront infrastructure costs to zero, as your Megaport assets are virtual and require no capital investment or hardware provision. It's also worth mentioning egress fees for all cloud providers via Megaport partner on-ramps are significantly lower, some as much as 75% compared to internet egress fees. So another financial benefit, to consider. And the final benefit is you can design, deploy, manage, and monitor it all on a single secure portal. It's point and click. You bring your own cloud service keys, and this makes establishing connectivity simple, which is something I'm going to demonstrate very shortly. But for those that have more sophisticated needs, both Terraform and API build calls are available for a whole host of deployment and management scenarios. So to give you a quick snapshot of our global reach, this is where we are, the 850 data centers across the globe. And we've got two types of data center. We've got an installed data center, which contains Megaport hardware, and we have enabled data centers. And these data centers are in the same campus or metro area as a Megaport installed location. So Megaport hardware is not located on this, but you can simply access these data centers through a private intra-campus cross-connect or a metro cross-connect. But as you can see from the Megaport footprint, we've got really good global reach in North America, EMEA and Asia Pac, and Asia Pacific as well. So it's a very, very strong footprint to fulfill all your global networking requirements. So let's talk about what we've come here for, which is the cross-cloud proposition. So why do people use cross-cloud, and what is cross-cloud connectivity? So cross-cloud connectivity means linking different cloud service providers together so your data and applications can smoothly communicate between them without relying on any physical data centers. And at Megaport, we are seeing this as around 60% of our customers are using more than one cloud provider. And so you might ask why customers use cross-cloud connectivity, or they have more than one cloud provider. Well, there's quite a few reasons, really. The first one that we're seeing is workload distribution. Business use different cloud providers, and so businesses use different cloud providers for different tasks because each one has different strengths in different areas. And cross-cloud connectivity lets you choose the best provider for each job, maximizing performance. Another common reason is cloud migration. When companies want to move everything from one cloud provider to another, cross-cloud connections make this really easy. You can transfer large amounts of data quickly and securely between clouds. And the Megaport services, and as Megaport services are virtual, they can be ceased once this project is over. Mergers and acquisitions is another huge environment where we're seeing big growth in multi-cloud use. Where organizations merge, they often inherit different cloud services. Cross-cloud connectivity helps integrate these services fast, keeping organizations running smoothly. And Megaport has a large pedigree in this space to support those technical consolidations. Business continuity is another large reason why organizations run cloud to cloud or multi-cloud. To avoid downtime if one cloud provider has issues, cross-cloud connections let you switch resources between providers swiftly, keeping your business up and running. And finally, cost savings. By accessing multiple cloud providers, your organization can compare prices and choose the most cost-effective cloud service option. Megaport partner on-ramps also, as a reminder, help lower egress costs for data transfer, coupled with no setups fees. So this makes the process highly cost efficient. Multi-cloud interworking boosts flexibility and resilience while helping you save money, all through Megaport's managed, reliable network solutions. So what does this look like, cross-cloud interworking from a technical perspective? And how does this support your cross-cloud strategy? Megaport has a service that facilitates this, and this service is the Megaport Cloud Router. And this allows for cloud services to access any other cloud service in the Megaport ecosystem by creating a virtual cross-cloud point of presence. The Megaport cross-cloud point of presence gives you private, secure, low latency connection using the Megaport NAS with no internet components. This is great for regulatory compliance, predictable performance, and low latency secure intercloud connections. So what is the MCR? Well, I'm about to demonstrate that shortly, but the MCR is a virtual machine hosted securely in the Megaport NAS environment with a stripped down layer 3 routing image installed on it. It is available in about 90 locations globally, and it's adjacent to around 280 plus partner on-ramps globally. It is very simple to use. It doesn't really require more than really rudimentary knowledge of routing. And the MCR is available from 1 gig to 10 gig throughput on the backplane, with highest speeds coming in the next few months. The MCR allows up to 25 VXCs to be configured between itself and other cloud service providers, as well as allowing for the medium of integration into hybrid solutions if you've got data centers that are popped to those 850 data centers that Megaport is connected to. And as for traffic manipulation, and I can show you this when I demo this, it's got the ability to run static and BGP routing. You can do BFD, MED, AS prepend, and route filtering are available on the MCR to help you tailor those routing characteristics on the way that you want to operate your network. And as I say, the MCR is deployable within about 5 or 6 minutes generally, and it allows you to connect with no hardware investment, giving massive scope for low latency interworking and improved performance between cloud providers. So this slide here represents a very common use case. In this particular instance, it's AWS connecting to lots of different multi-clouds in the data center, but it could equally be Azure to Oracle, Azure to Google. There are a whole host of permutations. So what I'm going to deploy is a very simple low latency solution with an MCR in Stockholm connected to an Azure on-ramp in Stockholm via an express route to Sweden Central Region and an on-ramp in Stockholm via a fast connect into the Sweden Central Region in Oracle. To speed this process up, I've configured both service keys in both Azure and Oracle to reduce the time of the demo session. So let me just bring the portal over. So this is the Megaport portal. And as you can see, this is a live portal. So these services are going to be built as we actually do the demonstration. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to create over here on the left an MCR. So I click on MCR. And as I mentioned, I'm going to build that MCR in Stockholm. So I'm going to look down my country list. And as you can see, we've got a whole host of countries. As I said, those 90 locations are well covered across the globe. And I'm going to select Sweden. So in Sweden, we've got red zones and blue zones. So in Sweden, I'm going to select SK1 in the blue zone. I'm going to select an MCR in Stockholm. And this gives these two zones are completely diverse, as well as there's zonal diversity within data centers as well. So I'm going to select the device, click next, and then there's some pre-populating of some fields that we're going to go through. So the first one is the speed. So I've got options here to select from 1 gig, 2.5 gig, 5 gig, and 10 gig. So I'm going to select a 10 gig device. I'm going to give that device a name, and this can be any name in convention that suits your organization. And this here is a free text field where you can add information like department, cost centers, or any other references that are relevant to yourself or your organization. You can then select the term. So we've got options here for no subscription period at all, 12 months, 24, or 36. So you've got options there to take for high discount over longer periods. And then you've got the option here to select the ASN that you're going to assign to this MCR. Now, this is our default number. I pretty much like using 6500 because I think it's a nice, easy number to remember. So you can assign your own ASNs if you want to run your BGP environment in that way. You can also add switch on BGP. So if you're deploying services cold and you want to bring them up at a certain time, you can deploy these services and then bring BGP up, or you can do maintenance testing. So you can bring things down, you can test failover. So that's a very useful feature without having to actually delete the MCR. Right, so after that, I'm going to click next. This gives you a summary of the device, where it is, how much it's going to cost, the term that you've taken it on, your BGP status, your ASN, the actual zone that you're in. And I'm just going to add that MCR and order it over on the left. So I go to the shopping cart, I order that MCR, and the MCR agree to the standard terms and conditions, and that MCR begins building through the API call from the portal. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do, whilst that is actually up and running and building, I'm going to click connection and start building that Azure on-ramp into Stockholm, into the Sweden Central Region. So the first thing I'm going to do is select the cloud environments, and you can go down to Azure. So here we have Azure. And all I need to do now is simply drop in a service key, which I've created previous to this. And this will drop in here. And that will validate. So just verifying the key. Okay, so that key is now verified through an API call. I'm going to select Stockholm primary. So that's adjacent. That's in SK1. I'm going to click next. And I'm going to give that link a name. So I'm going to call that Azure Link 1. And I'm going to select the speed, which is 50 meg in this particular instance. And you've also got another free flow text. You can have the VXC in live status or shut down. So that gives you some flexibility also on maintenance testing or bringing services down. And you've got these subscription terms as well, which you can select for a term discount. Right, so I'm going to click next on that and add that device. There's some more details here, just a recap of all the information that we've populated. I'll add that VXC, go over to the left on the shopping list, add that service, and that's going to begin the API call into Azure. So that's going to just take a few moments. And while we're waiting for that, that'll be building a VXC into the express route. So that did a pre-validation, and now it's actually going to build the actual service. So that will just take a couple of seconds. And then we'll move on to the Oracle service, which I'll get the key up and running and ready. Right, so okay, so that's the process of Azure beginning to be built. So the next option is I'm going to create that low latency connection into Oracle. So I'm going to create another connection. I'm going to go into cloud again, but there are other service options here, which will be covered on different Megaport live sessions. I'm going to select Oracle. I'm going to just drop in that OCI key, OCID key. They'll do a validation for that key. I'm also going to have this on a different red on-ramp into Oracle in SK1. I'll click next. I can collect the connection name. So I'm going to give that Oracle Live. I'm going to select a speed, 50 meg, and we've got all the same characteristics that we had in the Azure circuit. We can select term, we can select whether you want the service to be up and down and available as of now for all the same reasons for the maintenance testing, or whether you want to have a timed failover or a timed provisioning for when you have taken on a new service. We'll click next on that. And this is where I can show you. So I need to just populate this with some IP addressing. However, this is a useful place to look because you can add all your BGP. So when you're connecting, you can add all your local BGP information into your DRG and the peer IP for that and the ASN for Oracle. But this is where I was talking about there are the ability to add prepend, MED, both inbound and outbound, and also add BFD if those are the characteristics that you seek within a virtualized router. Anyway, so we'll move on from that and just very quickly click next there. We'll add that VXC. We'll order that service. Okay, that was the pre-validation. The order's now going in. Okay, so there we go. So within a matter of, I said 5 or 6 minutes, but within a matter of a minute or two, the actual Megaport MCR is up and running, and these will then connect into the MSEEs. This will connect to the DRG, and then you will begin building your BGP configuration as you see fit. So yes, let me just move that out of the way. Okay. So I hope that's been useful. And I hope you look forward to catching any other of the Megaport live sessions up and coming. I look forward to demonstrating to you on other Megaport live sessions. And thank you and goodbye.